equivalent to 4,800,000 pennies.
Support for Arizona PBS comes from viewers like you and from
Family fun at the Herd Museum Guild Indian Fair and Market with authentic art pieces for sale, cultural performances, and a celebration of American Indian artists from across North America. Saturday and Sunday, March 2nd and 3rd. Tickets on sale now at herd.org/fair.
From the Cronkite Studios in downtown Phoenix, this is Cronkite News.
Pedestrian deaths are on the rise in Arizona and across the U.S., how officials are looking to address the growing crisis.
Plus, find out what tribal leaders are talking about at this year's Conservative Political Action Conference.
And see what's being done in the high country to prevent the record snowfall from last week to cause flooding.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Austin Bundy.
And I'm Gabriela Becerra. Thank you for joining us.
Arizona is the 5th deadliest state for pedestrian fatalities, according to new data from the Governor's Highway Safety Association. Over the first half of 2018, we had 125 pedestrian deaths in our state, up from 112 over the same period in 2017.
California, Florida, Texas, and Georgia were the only other states with more. The Governor's Highway Safety Association projects over 6,200 deaths took place over the entire year, which would be the largest amount in the U.S. since 1990.
Cronkite News reporter John Cardinelli is live in Phoenix to explain why experts believe the increase is so dramatic. John?
The alarming new report shows the U.S. now has the highest number of pedestrian deaths in nearly 3 decades. The increase happening in 2018 in 25 states and the District of Columbia. A simple walk could end in the worst way possible.
6,200 of our friends and neighbors are no longer here because they chose to just walk somewhere, and that shouldn't be a death sentence.
The Governor's Highway Safety Association analyzing the numbers across the country and projecting that 6,227 pedestrians died in 2018, the highest number since 1990.
Traffic deaths overall are going down, but yet pedestrians are going up, deaths are going up every year, so it is alarming.
The association also offering insight into some of the causes behind the increase.
We're in bigger vehicles, we're going faster, and the role of alcohol is playing a big role. Not only are drivers many times have had too much to drink behind the wheel, sometimes pedestrians are as well.
Smartphones, also a factor everyone needs to be aware of.
We need to lay out the message to everybody, drivers, pedestrians, and the community in general, okay, of the danger of cell phone use and distracted driving, especially in the protection of pedestrians.
The GHSA says the number can go down with better infrastructure and more awareness.
Take a break, focus on that nice walk, focus on that nice drive, give your mind a break, and it'll help you to get there safely.
The report points to local streets as the most dangerous place for pedestrians. That's where 1/3 of these deaths occur. They also recommend to not walk around at night in dimly lit places. Live in downtown Phoenix, John Cardinelli, Cronkite News.
Right now, the city of Scottsdale is taking new measures to improve road safety by installing 4 new traffic cameras around the city. They'll be in addition to the cameras that are already in effect. Scottsdale's been using traffic cams since 1996, and police say the city has seen a 24% decrease in overall crashes because of it. 35% of those crashes were connected with running red lights. The new cameras will be located at Scottsdale Road and Pinnacle Peak Road, Shea Boulevard and 92nd Street, Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard and Greenway Hayden Loop, and Indian School Road and Hayden Road. Police say they picked these spots based on speed and crash data.
Last night, Tempe City Council voted unanimously to make using a cell phone while driving a primary offense. That means drivers will now get pulled over if seen using or even holding a cell phone while behind the wheel. The ordinance went into effect immediately, but over the next month, officers will only issue warnings and not tickets so drivers can adjust to the change. There are exemptions to allow drivers to use their cell phones. They include using a hands-free device while stopped at a red light and using your phone while parked on the side of the road.
The people who want to make America great again heard from some other nations yesterday, tribal nations. The Conservative Political Action Conference, or CPAC, regularly draws the nation's top conservatives. But this year it included speakers from the Navajo Nation and other tribes who brought a message from sovereign nations. Alyssa Klink reports from our Washington bureau.
Less government interference, more local control. Those are talking points dear to the hearts of conservatives, as well as a mantra of tribal nations for generations.
The concept of less government in terms of regulation and certainly more say over your self-determination.
That's why Dwight Witherspoon, Chief of Staff for the Navajo Nation, said it made sense for tribal leaders to be at the Conservative Political Action Conference, or CPAC. Witherspoon said all tribes should be looking for the support of conservatives, like those who gathered at the conference this week in the Washington suburbs.
How certainly can we work with conservatives which have similar values that we have in terms of trying to certainly lessen government regulation.
And Gavin Clarkson, a conservative politician from New Mexico, said conservatives should pay attention.
There's as much of an outreach from Indian country to conservatives as there needs to be from conservatives out to Indian country.
Witherspoon said the Navajo now run some of their own programs, like forest land management, transportation, and minerals, but they could do more if they had greater control over their affairs. Clarkson agreed, but said there's one change he thinks tribes should make right away.
Fortunately, far too much of Indian country supports Democrats, even though it's against their sovereign interests.
In National Harbor, Maryland, I'm Alyssa Klink, Cronkite News.
The largest provider for shelters for immigrant children says it's now allowed to let kids into one of its Arizona locations after the state barred it from admitting any more children last year. Southwest Key says the state has allowed it to resume accepting kids at a shelter known as Lighthouse. The Texas-based organization was forced to close 2 locations and to stop accepting new children after failing to get fingerprint clearance from all employees on time. The state health department began investigating Southwest Key last summer after several allegations of sexual abuse surfaced. But the vice president of Immigrant Children Services says Southwest Key has since examined every part of its Arizona operations and has worked closely with experts to improve its mission.
The recent snow in Arizona's high country has reduced drought in parts of the state. But as Cronkite News reporter Bain Froney explains, snow has also raised concerns about flooding.
A record 40 inches of snow fell in Flagstaff last week. That's not very uncommon, according to Ken Waters. He's a meteorologist with the National Weather Service. Waters says this is the first time in 9 years that Arizona has had above average precipitation.
It usually melts slowly, and so it helps to really recharge a lot of the water supplies, and it's a good thing, and that's helping to help lessen any effects of the drought that we have.
Arizona has been in a drought for 19 years, but this week's U.S. Drought Monitor report shows that far northeastern Arizona is out of extreme drought. Still, drought is a concern.
We're pretty good stewards of the water that we receive and our conjunctive use of surface water and groundwater, and so we've been able to preserve the reservoir levels throughout this long-term drought that we've had.
Waters says even in a drought, flooding is possible as temperatures continue to rise throughout the valley.
We do have one area that is a concern here in Arizona, and that's Tonto Creek, area in southern Gila County. And for that reason, we have put out a warning for that area going out through Sunday.
Yesterday, the Salt River Project began releasing water from 2 reservoirs on the Verde River to create more room for snowmelt and future runoff. Meanwhile, first responders gathered this week at the White Tank National Park to practice an emergency drill.
The thing is, these teams don't normally work together, so this gives them an opportunity to see what kind of areas they need to improve on.
Tim Clarkowski is a police sergeant with the city of Surprise. He says this drill covered everything from how to respond to drug cartel operations to how to handle unexpected flooding.
In future drills, we're going to start looking at some of those actual hands-on sort of exercises where now we're putting people to the test at swift water rescues for flooding, for example.
Potential flooding could happen in the weeks to come, but Waters says for now he's keeping a watchful eye for potential storms coming into Arizona next week. He warns drivers to be safe on the roads, especially when it's raining. Bain Ferroni, Cronkite News.
The record rain and snow even damaged roads across the state. Cronkite News reporter Alexis Hermanson shows us what we can expect for repairs.
There's only so much Arizona roads can handle before the pavement starts to break down.
You get some moisture that wants to creep in underneath that pavement, and that's the recipe for potholes, but also worn pavement.
After last week's storms, the Arizona Department of Transportation has been busy fixing potholes. Crews patch them with a mix of asphalt that's heated.
We are seeing areas where you have the circular sections that some of that rubberized asphalt has worn away because moisture was seeping in there, traffic keeps hitting that, and that's where you start to have some of that pavement break away and wear out.
Michael Mamluk is a professor of civil engineering at Arizona State University. He researches ways to improve the quality of pavement. He says asphalt pavements only last 12 to 15 years.
This is not a natural thing in pavements. We don't build pavement to last forever.
Mamluk says one way to help pavements last longer is to add fibers and other additives to reduce cracking. Ninsel says right now the priority goes to fixing the biggest potholes.
From a safety standpoint, that's the thing to do. And then you get into areas that are more of the nuisance areas where the pavement's been worn away, and we're getting to those day by day, night by night.
ADOT says about 10% of their winter operations budget goes to repair potholes on highways in the high country. In Phoenix, Alexis Hermanson, Cronkite News.
Doug Ninsel says it's important to be patient with road repairs and to slow down when you see potholes that haven't been fixed.
Bain Ferroni is joining us once again with a look at our weekend weather. Bain, any weather or any rain headed our way?
There's no rain in our forecast for the next couple of days. Today is actually a beautiful day. We're seeing highs across the state, 77 degrees right now in Phoenix, and even up in the north are even seeing high temperatures of 53 degrees and 50 degrees where it was freezing earlier in the week. Now for the rest of the day, around 6 p.m. we are going to be seeing temperatures drop down to 73 and drop even more around 63 degrees at 10 p.m. We are seeing some cloud coverage right now, and that's going to continue throughout Saturday as well. But we are going to see that sun once again on Sunday and throughout the rest of the week. We are going to be seeing nice warm temperatures, 83 degrees as our high on Wednesday, but we are going to be seeing mid 70s to low 80s throughout the rest of the week. Bain Ferroni in the Weather Center.
A sales tax increase goes into effect today in Mesa by 1/4 cent. The slight hike is expected to help generate about $25 million a year to help the city hire more police officers and other first responders. With state and local taxes combined, Mesa shoppers will pay a total of 8.3% in sales tax.
A new bill in the Arizona House could lower the Arizona minimum wage, but only for younger workers. House Bill 2523 would allow lower pay for full-time students under 22 years old to the federal minimum wage of $7.25 an hour. The bill passed yesterday in the Arizona House of Representatives and will now head to the state Senate. House Bill 2523 would attempt to sidestep the 2016 measure to raise Arizona minimum wage to $12 an hour by 2020.
Earlier this week, Arizona celebrated the Grand Canyon's 100th anniversary since its designation as a national park. And we asked you to share some of your favorite memories of the iconic landmark with us. This photo came from Phoenix native David Workman. It was taken while he was hiking in the national park. Deborah Engelman shared several photos with us as well, showing some of the canyon's grand history. And finally, Cronkite News viewer Cynthia Pardo told us, quote, "The faces and facets of the canyon are engraved in my heart and mind. Every experience has formed me over the years, from childhood trips with family, countless hikes through the layers of time, to recently bringing my mom to the rim's edge to breathe the fresh air before her walk through her cancer journey." Thank you again to all of our viewers for taking part in the Grand Canyon Centennial Celebration with us.
And in case you missed our extensive coverage here on Cronkite News, stick around. After the break, a look back at the history of the Grand Canyon and how two friends are on a quest to celebrate by going on 100 adventures.
And for more top stories, follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and visit us at cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
On the next Arizona Horizon, it's the Journalists' Roundtable. The governor vows to veto any anti-vaccination measures passed by the legislature. And the new Secretary of State says the old Secretary of State deleted records before leaving office.
Stay in the know on the go. At Cronkite News, we work hard to report the facts and keep you updated, whether we're on set or on the scene.
Taking it from the studio to the field. So I'm here in South Phoenix.
In Phoenix, we're just a click away. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, or find us online at cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
I'm Judy Woodruff, anchor and managing editor of the PBS NewsHour. The journalists of tomorrow face a fast-changing media landscape, but quality news remains vitally important to our communities, our country, and our world. At ASU's Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication, students learn solid, reliable reporting, holding the powerful accountable, and rebuilding the public's trust. The Cronkite School and Arizona PBS, preparing the next generation for a stronger future of journalism.
I was impressed how expansive the children's educational program is. I had no idea teachers go over the entire state reading books to children in both Spanish and English if they don't understand, so that the parents can teach their children what the value of reading a book is. I had no idea that you did that. You know, that in and of itself is spectacular.
For more information about including Arizona PBS in your future plans, visit azpbs.org/giving.
Today, we celebrate the 100th anniversary of the Grand Canyon's designation as a national park. We're taking a look at efforts to protect the land, as well as how two women are celebrating the birthday in a unique way. But first, Jody Guerrero explains just what a visit means to the park for those who see its majesty in person.
At 227 miles long, the Grand Canyon has been a must-see destination, inspiring people from all over the world to see the canyon with their own eyes.
I walked up and opened my eyes and it was breathtaking. It's wild to think that we didn't create this, that this is something that was created out of nature, and it was breathtaking. It was magical.
Roger Clark is the program director for the nonprofit conservation organization, the Grand Canyon Trust. He recommends that visitors try something new and go below the rim of the canyon.
Just 100 yards down the trail and you'll begin to see things you couldn't even imagine.
Nearly 100,000 visitors do venture into the canyon and stay the night below the rim. That's according to recent numbers from the park. At the Grand Canyon, Jody Guerrero, Cronkite News.
A bill that's planned to be introduced to Congress could prevent uranium mining on more than 1 million acres of land around the Grand Canyon. And as Cronkite News reporter Lillian Donahue reports, this is something representatives and tribes in northern Arizona call long overdue.
Thank you. A year ago, we traveled to the bottom of the Grand Canyon to talk with people of the Havasupai tribe. For years, they've expressed their concerns for uranium mining near their ancestral lands. Now, lawmakers are taking action, saying the tribe's voices are not unheard.
Havasupai means people of the blue-green water, and we have been living here for over thousands of years.
Hundreds of Havasupai tribal members live at the bottom of the Grand Canyon. They say it's the future of their tribe and they want to protect their sacred water. But for decades, many Native communities in northern Arizona have expressed concerns over uranium mining just miles from the Grand Canyon National Park.
And we have a sacred duty to protect the land and the Grand Canyon.
Now legislators are taking notice. Congressman and chairman of the House Natural Resources Committee, Raul Grijalva, is introducing a bill today on the 100th anniversary of the park.
To protect the Grand Canyon, protect its watershed, protect the resource of the Colorado River.
The bill would make a temporary ban on uranium mining set in place during the Obama administration permanent. Although it's printed on one sheet, front and back, you could say this bill is relatively small, but the Grand Canyon Centennial Protection Act will have big implications on the Grand Canyon and surrounding areas, taking federally recognized land over 1 million acres out of the equation for uranium mining.
The risks associated with uranium mining dramatically outweigh any of the benefits to this region or to this nation.
A recent report by the Grand Canyon Trust cited multiple contaminated mines around the national park. One of those, the Canyon Mine, remains active and even flooded in 2017. The mine's parent company, Energy Fuels, had to remove more than 1 million gallons of tainted water from the area.
The legacy of contamination associated with uranium mining is tragic.
However, Arizona's 4th Congressional District Representative Paul Gosar released a statement calling the permanent ban on uranium mining a misguided quest that would, quote, undermine American energy security.
Because it's a cause.
Despite past preservation attempts in the Grand Canyon, Representative Grijalba says he's confident and has a message for his colleagues on Capitol Hill.
To think of the Grand Canyon not in terms of a piece of federal land that they should open up as a commodity for drilling, for mining, and for extraction. They should think of it as a treasure that they need to comfort and take care of.
A bipartisan poll conducted in August asked 600 registered voters in Arizona whether or not they support the continuation of a uranium ban near the Grand Canyon. The majority of Arizonans responded in favor of the moratorium, while 29% of them said that locking up land from mining companies would actually stifle job creation and local economies.
Today marks 100 years since the Grand Canyon was declared a national park, but that isn't the only impressive number for the World Wonder. 358, that's the number of total trail miles in the Grand Canyon. 290, that's how many searches and rescues were performed by the Canyon's Park Services in 2017. 6.2 million is how many people visited the Grand Canyon in 2017, making it the second most visited national park in the country. And 1 mile, the average depth of this massive landmark. Whether you're a regular visitor, a national park traveler, or virtual explorer, the Grand Canyon is a sight to be seen. Take a look.
The story of the Grand Canyon begins in the Rocky Mountains. Geologists say it took nearly 6 million years for the Colorado River to carve the canyon. The first inhabitants of the Grand Canyon arrived about 10,000 years ago. Indigenous people and Native American tribes experienced the Grand Canyon's splendor long before any Europeans came. Spanish explorers were the first Europeans to lay eyes on the canyon during an expedition in 1540. Major John Wesley Powell and his team in 1869 were the first to successfully take wooden boats down the Colorado River and through the canyon. Powell and his team were the first to call the natural wonder the Grand Canyon. President Theodore Roosevelt saw the canyon for the first time in 1903. Roosevelt initially declared the land the Grand Canyon Game Preserve. President Woodrow Wilson proclaimed it a U.S. national park in 1919. More than 37,000 people visited that first year. Architects and builders responded, constructing bridges, viewpoints, and Grand Canyon Village. Park rangers served as guides and caretakers, trying to keep visitors safe while protecting the park. Polly Petraw was among them. In 1929, she became the first female ranger at the Grand Canyon. Visitors raft through the canyon, hike along more than 100 miles of trails, or ride mules to the canyon floor. Others simply enjoy the vistas from the park's many breathtaking overlooks. 100 years later, the Grand Canyon remains a wonder.
More than 6 million people visit the Grand Canyon National Park every year. Some people keep coming back, like 2 Arizona women who consider themselves Grand Canyon enthusiasts. As Cronkite News reporter Gabrielle Oliveira explains, they're setting out to celebrate the canyon's 100th birthday in a special way.
Abby Smith and Ann Kennison started celebrating the Grand Canyon's 100th birthday last Labor Day weekend. That's when they set out on their quest to do 100 things in or related to the Grand Canyon.
Hi everyone, we are still at the Grand Canyon and loving it.
And we worked with groups of friends to brainstorm this list, and as things have changed, we've added or decided not to do things, but our goal is to do 100 things.
Smith and Kennison came up with the idea after hearing two adventurers talk about how they hiked more than 750 miles in the canyon to raise awareness about development projects that could change the canyon. Since they started their 100 adventures, they've done everything from eating at the Grand Canyon Lodge to visiting the Hoover Dam.
The Grand Canyon is an amazing place. It's something that people can enjoy, and one of the things that I really love about it is that there's so many different ways to enjoy it.
The Grand Canyon is one of the 7th wonders of the world. Although federally it's turning 100 years old, it was actually formed 6 million years ago. And with millions of visitors annually, sustaining it could be a grand challenge.
I think one of the, something that a lot of visitors don't realize is that, they think I'm one of 6.2 million, but every one of those actions has an influence in the park and has an impact.
Vanessa Sehow at the Grand Canyon National Park says they're making a push for sustainability to celebrate the park's birthday. One goal is have zero landfill waste in the next 2 years and keep encouraging visitors to pack out their trash. Smith and Kennison say keeping the park as sustainable as possible is important to them.
I really value these landscapes, this space that's been set apart for everyone to enjoy and preserve and protect it for generations to come.
And with a view like this, sometimes it's all about who you're with.
I think my favorite thing is just my relationships with the people and the fun that I've had with my friends along the way.
The women have completed more than 80 activities so far. At the Grand Canyon, Gabrielle Oliveira, Cronkite News.
Join moderator Robert Costa
when I was at the Capitol this week,
and a panel of award-winning journalists.
You're seeing a divided nation, and you're seeing
for insights and perspective.
Tonight there was a key development in the Senate.
You won't find anywhere else.
What a week.
Washington Week.
Tonight at 7 on Arizona PBS.
I'm Anne Marie